Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And Elsie hates when I film, my cat, so she immediately just jumped off the bed. I was like, I'm not having this, Mom. Welcome to another pregnancy vlog. This is weeks, I believe, 27 to 29. Just so crazy daisy, so nuts. Sorry for whispering. I'm whispering sort of. Because there's a few family members still sleeping. It is the day after Christmas. I hope everyone had an amazing holiday season. And for me personally, the holiday season isn't like over until after New Year's, but I do always feel that like a little bit of sadness when Christmas is over. I don't know, let me know if you guys are the same. But yeah, I wanted to talk to you about these past 2 weeks because it's really funny. So life is so funny, isn't it? And I feel like you have to have a sense of humor, especially when you're pregnant, because things just change like at the drop of a hat. And my last pregnancy update with you guys, I was telling you how great I felt and how amazing I felt. And I ended the whole thing with saying that I was trying to stay really appreciative because I figured that wouldn't last for super long. And I was sort of right. Okay, so anyway, let's start from where I'm also still wearing my maternity Christmas pajamas because I don't want to stop wearing them. I think today might be the last day I wear them. But okay, let's go back to where we left off. And so we left off, I was getting ready to do my gestational diabetes test. I was going to the hospital/doctor's office that day. And then I vlogged the whole experience. So if you haven't seen that, I will link the vlog either above and down below. And so, yeah, that was a pretty good experience. It could have gone really wrong. But in a nutshell, I went for the gestational diabetes test. I didn't think that the glucose drink was too terrible. It wasn't too bad. So for all of you out there who are a little bit concerned, I would say it tasted like, I don't know, it tasted like a slightly sugary Gatorade, like flat seltzer. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like the most delicious thing in the world, but it wasn't terrible. So had that done, got my blood drawn, had a really wonderful doctor's appointment with this new doctor that I hadn't met yet, who's part of the practice. And then I had to wait. I think I waited, it was almost a week. It was almost a week because I had the gestational diabetes test on a Thursday and then they called me the following Wednesday. And I just kept forgetting to call them because they had said like, oh, we'll let you know the next day. They never did. So anyway, they called me almost like a week later and I passed my glucose test, which makes me so happy. And you'll see in that vlog, I was like over the moon, just so happy. So yeah, that was really fantastic. And again, like the experience was quite positive. And so I'm just hoping that I can continue this like positive, I don't know what you call it. Like, I hope I don't, because I know that you can get gestational diabetes a little bit, like you can get it at any point, right? Like you get it the day you go into labor. Like, you know, if all of a sudden there's more proteins in your urine and they see like your sugar levels are all over the place, like, I don't know how exactly they determine gestational diabetes. Clearly not a doctor, but I know that like you can get it at any point from now until the end. So I'm still crossing my fingers that doesn't happen, but I am really happy that I didn't have to do the 3-hour test. Yeah, happy I didn't have to do that, and I'm happy that I don't currently have it. So yeah. Anyway, let's talk about, I mean, you can probably hear it. I'm so out of breath. So I don't know if I think I had mentioned, not in my last vlog, but maybe the pregnancy update before that, how right at the top of my abdominals, or maybe it was my last one, I don't know, right at the top of my abdominals was really bothering me, right? The connective tissue, the muscle, like was really pulling because he's quite low and I have quite a short torso, and as everything is stretching, like it pulls and it really bothers me. So that sort of kicked into high gear over the past 2 weeks, like high gear. And it was really bothering me again. And I was still experiencing a lot of pulling through my abdominals. And everyone was like, well, why don't you should get a band. Like you should get something that's supportive around your hips and back. And a lot of people were coming at it from like to like be supportive for your back sort of way, but like it's funny because my back has been fine up until like a day or two ago. My back had been fine, and so I was like, well, I don't know. I was kind of like putting it off until I felt like I really needed it, but with all of the pulling, like with him just like putting and pulling so much pressure down through my abs, I was like, you know what, I should just get this band, because if anything, like maybe it'll hold him up a little bit higher and it won't pull quite as much. I don't know. So I ordered the Belly Bandit, and I don't know which one it's called, and I went to go look for it. Hopefully it's in my car. Sorry, truly never a dull moment. I just got something stuck in my throat. I'm hoping it's in my car because I couldn't find it just now, but I'm going to do a whole video on it because I wanted to do a little bit of a review, talk about how I've personally been liking it, especially for someone who doesn't feel like they need it like predominantly for back support, but still wants that like belly support. So yes, I ordered the Belly Bandit. It's the least expensive of the two that they have, like the maternity bands that they have. I'll link it down below as well. And yeah, I started using it about, I want to say maybe like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago. I'll talk about it more in depth in the review video I do. But I mean, so far so good. So far so good. And I think, you know, having it as part of my routine has definitely, I mean, it hasn't hurt. So I thought that was positive. Okay, so let's chat a little bit. So, okay, the past 2 weeks I've started having very vivid dreams. And I've had vivid dreams since the beginning of the pregnancy, and since like the first trimester, very, very vivid, very detailed dreams. And I think I mentioned too that like, I was like, none of them are nightmares, because people always say like, oh, you might have nightmares and they'll be like super vivid as well, so they'll be scary. I had an experience that up until, I want to say last week, I had like a good string of like 3 days where I had very vivid nightmares every night. And I just thought that was worth like sharing, because again, like I haven't had a nightmare probably since before we conceived, and all of a sudden like they just started popping up out of nowhere. So luckily, I mean, knock on wood, like it hasn't happened since last week. But yeah, I thought that was so funny. So anyway, okay, so all of this stuff sort of ties together. So I was having very vivid dreams, very vivid nightmares, and that's because I was actually sleeping. I was actually sleeping. So, okay, like last week, I'm trying to think of like how to explain it. So last week was like the week before the holidays, right? Like the last full week before Christmas and everything. So it was super busy. And the week prior to that, so I would say that was like my 27th week, I was still like spinning super consistently and feeling really, really great, feeling really, really good. Then last week, I just got so busy with like holiday stuff, and any time that I had off, I was either like going grocery shopping or doing last minute present stuff and wrapping, and I was just like really on it this year, which I have to like pat myself on the back for a little bit. I was really on top of things, but that meant that I didn't really like, because I was like, everything was so pre-planned, I didn't really have any wiggle room, especially last week. So I didn't have the opportunity. I haven't been to cycle, or I haven't worked out in about, like now it's about a week and 2 days. And for the past week, let me tell you, for the past week, I have had the worst night's sleeps, with the exception of last night. Last night, I actually had a Christmas miracle. I actually had a good night's sleep. But all last week, and especially the night before Christmas Eve and Christmas Eve, I had the worst night's sleeps. And it was like a mixture of like restless leg syndrome, which I read can like be due to a circulation issue. You know, like you're just like, there's so much happening in your body and there's so much extra weight, and like that can cause the restless leg syndrome. Just coupled with feeling uncomfortable, like starting to just feel so big. And I think that's why I love working out, is because it's sort of like, even though I'm not losing weight, obviously, it's still in some way, I feel like it counters it, like it counterbalances it, so that I stay healthy and like stay feeling like my muscles and stay feeling strong. But last week, and my body is and that's what's so funny, is like my body is so quick to go from feeling really good to like all of a sudden like, oh, you haven't worked out in 3 days, like now you feel so heavy. So yeah, those few nights were just awful. I could not sleep. I was waking up like every few hours, just really terrible. And I know like the joke's on me, like I get it, because when I have my newborn, like I'll be up all night anyway, but I mean, it's never easy. It's never easy. And so it was just super uncomfortable. And then luckily last night, I don't know if it was because of like the days just sort of accumulating, and finally my body was like, we need sleep, we have to like, so I went to bed last night and I actually slept from, I want to say like 8:45, like really early, like 8:30, 8:45 until I want to say maybe like 4 a.m. And then I woke up for a little bit. This doesn't include like getting up to use the restroom, because obviously that happens like 3 times a night. Woke up around 4 a.m. for like maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then went back to sleep until like 7:30. So that was actually really great. Really great. And speaking of like nighttime in my body, oh my goodness. So and I've had people tell me, I've already had people tell me, be like, oh, I've never experienced that. Like, obviously, we're all different. Like, no one's pregnancy is going to be exactly the same. And, like, even my pregnancies aren't going to be exactly the same if we have more children. But I feel so heavy at nighttime. Like, you would think that all, like, throughout the day, I'm just, like, putting rocks in my pockets. And then by the end of the night, like, I'm just carrying around, like, an extra 20 pounds, because I feel so heavy and so uncomfortable. And I haven't had any like major swelling throughout my hands and my feet during the day, but at night, like my feet and my ankles will get slightly swollen, like super slightly swollen, especially if I've been standing all day, like at work and stuff. But yeah, oh my gosh, I had, not this past week, but the week prior to that, I was teaching, and my body felt so heavy teaching dance that I had to sit for like all of my classes and just like direct the kids and tell them what to do. And luckily they're all super smart, like really on top of it dancers. But it was just one of those moments where it's like, I literally can't, like my body feels so heavy. And so again, like the belly band, it has really helped with that. And I'll talk about that more in that video. But it's really incredible, like how in the mornings, I mean, and I think I mentioned this in my last video too, how, you know, I feel like that's just a normal thing for me anyway. Like I wake up in the morning, I'm a little like more compact, and then as the day progresses, I get a little more bloated, a little like, you know, so, but it's times like a million with being pregnant for sure. So yeah, I've felt super heavy at night, and then, couple that with just like, you know, feeling tired and exhausted by the end of the night. It just like makes for like a really just like not great cocktail, like pregnancy cocktail. So guys, I'm trying to think, but I think that might be everything that I really wanted to update you guys on. Baby got some really cute, fun things for Christmas, and it really solidified the fact that like, oh my God, we're in the home stretch, because I'm 30 weeks tomorrow, which I didn't mention at the beginning, but the day that I'm filming this, it's the 26th, and I'm 29 weeks and 6 days today. Tomorrow will be the big 30 weeks. And we're still in the process, funny enough, we're still in the process of trying to put together my baby shower. And I feel like it just sort of fell in a very awkward time, because like from Thanksgiving, at least for us, from Thanksgiving until now, like you just can't think about anything but the holidays. And it was too early to plan before, although we probably should have. So now my mom and I are sort of like scrambling to like figure out where we're going to have it. And like hopefully we'll decide on that this week. That way we can get the invitations out and stuff. But yeah, we're still trying to figure out baby shower stuff. But I was saying to everyone yesterday and the night before that now that like now that Christmas is over and like New Year's is coming, and that'll be over obviously before we know it, it'll be 2018. It's crazy to think that like now it's now we're really in the home stretch of like baby coming. And I kept saying throughout the whole fall and throughout the holiday season that, you know, once the holidays were over, it was gonna be baby time. It was like really gonna be like, let's focus in on baby. And like we're at that time now where we really have to do it. So it's going to be kind of a crazy month, I think. I think January is going to be a little nuts because we're going to be renovating this room, and we're renovating the floors. We're getting rid of a few pieces of furniture. We're taking in a few pieces of furniture. And then I just want to like start the whole like nesting process. I want to start sort of decluttering, getting rid of a lot of my stuff. Right now, Jeff and I have a lot of our stuff in storage. And so I think we'll probably be moving. We have 2 storage units. We'll be probably moving more stuff into storage, to be honest, just to like declutter. And just make sure that there is enough room and like I don't feel, you know, stifled or like too claustrophobic. And yeah, and then like just so like, you know, so starts the washing process. I gotta wash all of his clothes. This kid has so many clothes. Like he has more clothes than me and Jeff combined, I'm sure. So I have to start like washing all of that and organizing it. And then, you know, once the baby shower happens, organizing all of that. And so, yeah, it's gonna be a kind of crazy few months. I know it's gonna go by fast. I know. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting. Anyway, I have a doctor's appointment this Friday, which is pretty crazy. I think I'm putting this up on Friday. So I have a doctor's appointment on Friday, the day that you guys see this. And we are kicking up the doctor's appointment. So officially, starting on Friday, I will have an appointment every 3 weeks instead of every 4, which is kind of insane and crazy, but yeah, exciting. And yeah, let me show you my belly, and then we will wrap this shindig up. Okay, here's the belly. It's pretty big. It's pretty big, but there you go. Here he is. From the front and from the side. So you can see how like he's low and it's like all the weight's kind of like pulling and pushing this way, which puts just like a lot of pressure up here. And like my ribs finish here, my hips start here. Like I have no torso, but anyway, there it is. So yeah, guys, that's everything. Doctor's appointment this Friday. Oh, and then next week we have, I mentioned, we have the fetal sonogram. We're just gonna go and make sure, double check with the fetal specialist that his brain is developing properly, because they saw some cysts back during the 20-week anatomy scan, even though I think at that time I was only like 17, 18 weeks pregnant. And they were saying like it can be totally developmental. They're like 99.9 sure it's developmental, but they still wanted me to see the specialist, so we're gonna go next week and do that. So I think that we'll probably do that before I update you guys again. So yeah. Again, I hope you guys all had an amazing holiday season, and I'm sending you so much love. I will see you guys for my 30 to 32 week update. Oh my gosh, I can't. Because really then that means that I only really have like 3 or 4 more updates to film before like he could potentially be here. That's so crazy. So crazy. Anyway, okay, I love you guys. I will talk to you later. Bye.